Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, you've signed up for Medicare. Now what? We'll help you get the most out of the plan you picked. Then, low inflation saves you money now, but could cost you later. We'll investigate how inflation impacts your investments. Feeling well is swell, so we'll prescribe ways to increase your well-being. Plus, how do you know when it's time for help at home for mom or dad? We'll offer down-home advice. And changes may be coming to Veterans Administration benefits. We'll advise you on how to proactively prepare.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. You probably know that when you turn 65, you get certain health care benefits through Original Medicare, but you might not know that you could select Medicare Advantage instead. So what's the difference? And is there really an advantage to Medicare Advantage? Here, let's ask Dr. Terry Koenig. Dr. Koenig is the Senior Medical Officer of Government Programs for Medical Mutual of Ohio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lori.
So before we get to talking about how Original Medicare and Advantage are different, let's talk about how they're actually the same.
Okay, Medicare Advantage must cover everything that Original Medicare covers. So that includes hospital stays, physician visits, and any of the other benefits that Original Medicare offers to the enrollees.
Okay, so that's good. They got some similarities. What's the difference?
In Original Medicare, the government, it pays the claims. The care is delivered based to the general population rules. In Medicare Advantage, the government works with insurance plans to take those funds and manage the care of the members so that they can offer additional coverage that may not be available when care is not coordinated or within a group of physicians and hospitals.
Okay, so what extra bells and whistles can they add to the Medicare Advantage then?
Well, they can add a lot of things. They can add dental, they can add vision benefits, they can add health care benefits around wellness, exercise. So there's many areas depending on the individual plan. At Medical Mutual, we offer many of the ones I mentioned.
Okay, so how do they compare in out-of-pocket costs?
So in Original Medicare, the enrollee pays the Part B premium, which is out of most people's Social Security checks,
right,
and then has co-pays or co-insurance for hospital and doctors. And there's never a cap on that. So for Part B, which is the physicians and a lot of the outpatient care, you continue to pay 20% of whatever the bill is.
Okay.
In Medicare Advantage, you still have some co-pays and co-insurance, but what is available is what they call a maximum out-of-pocket, or a MOOP, which if you do have, unfortunately, a year of large expenses, you are limited on your financial responsibility.
Okay, and there's differences with regard to coverage outside of the U.S. too,
yes,
right?
Absolutely, except in a few rare cases, Original Medicare doesn't cover people when they go on those wonderful European or South American vacations. In Medicare Advantage, many of the plans do have that, and at Medical Mutual, we have a $50,000 emergency care lifetime benefit. So when you are on that wonderful trip, you have a little security that you are taken care of.
Okay, well, what about here at home?
Here at home, it's a matter of co-insurance versus copay. So again, as we mentioned, traditional Medicare copays and a percentage. If it's a $200 bill, you pay 20%. In Medical Mutual's plan and many other Medicare Advantage, it's copay. So every time you see a doctor, it may be $15. It doesn't matter what the bill is. And then again, you have that maximum out-of-pocket protection I mentioned.
Any other differences?
Well, there's many. In traditional Medicare, you have any doctor. In a lot of the Medicare Advantages, you have what are called networks. And I always recommend people to check if your doctor is in whatever Medicare Advantage plan. In Medical Mutual, we have many, many doctors, so it's very likely your doctor and your preferred hospital are already in our network. So it's really a way you can see if your current caregivers are in that network to give you an option.
All right, this has been great information. It does seem the advantage goes to Medicare Advantage plans. Just make sure to find the Advantage plan that best suits your medical and personal needs. And for help, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Dr. Koenig for joining us today.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2015options, or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, inflation versus investments. But first, today, December 13th, marks St. Lucia Day, a Swedish celebration. According to this legend, this is the longest night and extra nourishment is needed. So a Lucia delivers delicious dishes. But how does she find her way in the dark? We'll enlighten you with the answer when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
In Sweden, a Lucia is a queen of light, chosen from a family or group. Dressed in white, she wears a crown of candles to light her way as she travels with her tasty treats. Together with the attendants who accompany her, she sings traditional Lucia songs to celebrate the holiday season.
Inflation is low, and that's good, right? Well, yes and no. Jim Lineweaver is here to clear up this contradiction. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back to the show.
Yep, thanks for having me.
How can low inflation be bad?
Well, you like to think that, low inflation with low cost of goods and for oil and gas and everything, that's all fine because you get more money at the pump. But unfortunately, for people that are retired and savers, they're not getting much money on their money that's sitting in the bank or a CD or things along that nature. So unfortunately, they usually have to come to other measures to try to combat what's going on in that low interest rate environment that's out there.
So how's the Fed determining that?
Well, what the Fed does is the Federal Open Market Committee meets, and what they try to do is they look at what the change in the consumer price index. So they take this basket of goods and they say, well, compared to last year to this year, did they go up in price or did they go down? And good or bad, they actually went down over the last year, and especially because of oil and things. So what that does is put more money technically in people's pockets because they don't have to spend it, but with no inflation, then what ends up happening is the FOMC really hasn't had much of a reason in the last 5-6 years to raise rates at all because of these low prices.
Okay, so I understand inflation that is affecting the investments and the return on the investments, but it also affects Social Security, right?
It does. And a couple months ago, unfortunately, they came out and they said there's not going to be any increase for next year for Social Security. And it's basically because this basket of goods, they're not seeing really any increases. Now, if you strip out oil's been a big part of this. So if you really take out the price of oil, there's a little bit of inflation out there. So chances are we're going to see some other rate increases down the road. But in the current time, at least for adjusting everything for 2016, you're not only not seeing an increase in the Social Security, but you're also not increasing any of the contribution rates for retirement plans or things along that nature.
All those things that are tied to those numbers.
Exactly.
So how often does this actually happen?
Well, every year. They actually look at usually the third quarter, and they're going to go back and benchmark that, and then what they'll do is they'll come out for the fourth quarter like they did this past year, and they said that, we're not going to have a rate increase, and that's going to kick in on January 1st. But every year you're going to look at this. The FOMC, they've been looking at cost of living adjustments since 1975, and almost every year except for 3, there's been an increase. So unfortunately, it's all been very recent. So you didn't have one in 2010, you didn't have one in 2011, and now again in 2016, you don't have another increase.
It's got to be hard for the seniors who are on a fixed income. You know, those who maybe aren't yet to that point. What can you do?
Well, yeah, if you're not to that point, at least you have some proactive measures that you can take. And this is where, even though they didn't increase the contribution limits for next year, the limits are still pretty high. And there's some catch-up provisions for people that are over age 50 too.
So what are those limits?
Yeah, so if you're less than age 50 and you're looking at a retirement plan, what can happen is you can actually put in up to $18,000. If you're 50 and over, you get a special catch-up, so that takes another $6,000, so you can get up to $24,000. But a lot of people forget, with under age 50, you can add after-tax money to a lot of your retirement plans too, and get all the way up to $53,000, and with your employer match as well. And if you're over age 50, you can get all the way possibly up to $59,000. So there's still great ways to save for people out there. And you know what I see a lot of people make a mistake on? They're not even putting enough contribution limits in to take care of the or maximize the company match that companies are providing you. And they're giving free money away, even if it's 10, 20 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar.
Take it.
Take care of it. Yeah, get that free money, and then try as you can get your maximum contributions up to these limits that we talked about.
All right, excellent advice. So low inflation can lower your retirement lifestyle. Follow Jim's advice and give as much as you can to your investments in the present so you can get the retirement life you want in the future. Need more help? Give Jim a call. His number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, well. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Read all about it. There's a new magazine aimed at our age group. Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond shares helpful information on everything from health and housing to fitness and financial planning to entertainment and activities. And the best part? It's free. Find it at 500 places throughout Northeast Ohio, including fitness facilities, senior centers, salons, doctor's offices, retail stores, and libraries. Need locations or other information? Call Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond at 330-822-4011 or email them at info@northeastohioboomer.com.
Some people think their health is a lot like the weather. You can complain about it, but there's not much you can do about it. Dr. David Koontz disagrees, and he's here with a sunny forecast on how to avoid illness. Dr. Koontz is the medical director of the Middleburg Heights and Brooklyn locations of Metro Health. So welcome to the show here.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning. As we get older, should we just expect to get sicker?
Well, our immune system does begin to fail us as we do get older. It's just part of that natural cause or that natural process. Actually, our white blood cells decrease in number and they start to slow down as we age. So we can expect to get sicker as we age, but we should be able to try to fight it back.
Okay, we're going to fight back. So I'm sure a healthy lifestyle is probably at the top of the list, right?
Yes, it is. A lifestyle where you exercise on a regular basis, you eat healthy, take alcohol in moderation, and don't smoke.
Okay, so how does exercise help? Heart, lungs? I mean, is those the parts of the body you're focusing on then?
Well, the exercise will help your cardiac reserve. It'll help with your lung reserve, but it'll also help with your muscles and your bones.
Okay. What kind of exercise helps with bones?
Well, any type of exercise, but in particular weight-bearing exercise. Exercise is going to help maintain your muscle tone and your muscle strength.
So that will help you how?
Well, if you maintain good muscle strength, good muscle tone, it will actually help you with your balance, so you'll be less likely to fall.
Oh.
Another thing that happens if you maintain good muscle tone and strength is it reduces your risk for osteoporosis.
And that's a good thing, because that
very
can
good
mean
thing.
broken bones if you just trip and fall, and that's a big problem with older folks.
Yes, it is a very serious problem as we age.
Okay, so not just healthy lifestyle, but some other things you started to mention, like avoiding alcohol and things like that. So what are some of those points?
Yeah, smoking, obviously, it's a terrible thing and you shouldn't be doing it, especially when you age. Now, alcohol can be taken in moderation, not in excess.
Okay. How about keeping in touch with other people? That social element.
Having a good social system is very, very important. It's important because if you need something to get done, you got somebody you can call, but it's also very important to stave off loneliness. Loneliness and depression go hand in hand, and people that are lonely and depressed, they tend to take less good care of themselves.
And can lead to the illnesses we're trying to fight off and not have them happen to begin with. Okay, so what other preventative protocols do you recommend?
Well, there's a whole host of things that you should be going through as you start to age. For instance, depending on family history, once you reach the age of 50, you should get a colonoscopy. You should get testing for your thyroid and blood pressure and blood sugar. Those conditions can often present without any symptoms. There's a host of vaccines that you need to keep in mind.
So what kind of vaccine should we be getting?
A pneumonia vaccine. It helps protect you from some of the most common causes of bacterial pneumonia. That's recommended starting at age 65, but depending on whether or not you have any other medical problems.
Okay.
A shingles vaccine is another thing that's now being recommended when you reach the age of 60.
Do you have to wait till 60? I have had shingles already, and I can tell you, you don't want to get shingles. So
the CDC recommends 60. The FDA said you can start giving it at 50. So it depends on your history. Something you should speak with your doctor about.
So screenings and shots and flu shots every year, all of those kinds of things can really keep you going.
Yes.
And
another
keep the illness
important
away.
one I forgot on the list was a bone density test to screen for osteoporosis.
Okay. So you can do the weight-bearing exercise and try to prevent it or cure it.
Yes, exactly.
All right. If you're concerned that your health forecast could include some clouds, follow Dr. Koontz's advice to help ensure sunny skies for your physical fitness. My thanks to Dr. Koontz for helping us weather the issues of aging and illness.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, help at home. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to show you how to strengthen those ever-important shoulder muscles. You ready to go?
I am absolutely ready to go.
Let's do it. We have exercise bands here. This is called a front raise using our exercise band. What we're going to do is we're going to step on the center of the band. Okay, we want to again offset our feet so that way we make sure we stay nice and balanced. Maintain very good posture. All we're going to do is simply bring the handle of the band up to about shoulder height and then lower it back down to your thigh, okay? Again, we're looking for 15 to 20 repetitions on this one. Use slow and controlled movements and make sure you're breathing. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, that's tough.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
and
that's
actually,
a good
Lori
one.
is doing a very good variation of this exercise where she's using both arms together. So you can do either individually or like Lori's doing here, you can do them both together.
Cut time in half.
That's right. Fantastic. All right, everybody, 12 to 15, 2 to 3 sets. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
During the holidays, we are fortunate to spend more time with our families. But when we do, we might notice Mom is a bit unsteady on her feet, or Dad likes to stay in his bedclothes. Is this a cause for concern? Let's ask Christine Foley. Christine is the manager of home care for the Benjamin Rose Institute on Aging. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So what are some of these signs that we might be seeing that says, Mom and Dad might need some help?
Yeah, there's a variety of things you can look at. First of all, you want to look at their appearance. Do they look a little disheveled? Do they have an odor about them? Are they wearing their bedclothes more often? Are they wearing sweatpants instead of regular trousers? Those are some of the physical appearance signs that you can see. There's also behavioral changes. Are they a little more ill-tempered? Are they withdrawn? Are there signs of depression? Those kinds of things will show that you need some outside assistance. Additionally, look around their environment. Is their house more cluttered than usual? Look in the refrigerator. Is there a lot of food, but maybe a lot of the food is spoiled? Is the refrigerator nearly empty? Check out their bathroom. Does it look like the tub and the shower are being used? These are all signs that their personal hygiene may be diminished.
Okay.
Are they calling the doctor more often? Are they calling 911? Have they recently fallen? A lot of times it's helpful also to talk to the neighbors. Oftentimes, individuals will go to their neighbors and seek help instead of their family members because they don't want their family members to know that they're slipping a little bit.
Right. Yep. So there's two kinds of assistance available, right? First is personal care. Let's talk about that one first.
Personal care is usually referred to as unskilled care, and that involves such things as bathing, grooming, some light housekeeping, shopping, transportation to medical appointments, and some companionship. These things are provided by a home care aide, and they're overseen by an RN case manager. And depending on the insurance plan, it can be a long-term involvement.
Okay. There's also skilled care, though. So what does that involve?
Skilled care usually is followed up by when there's a critical illness, a recent hospitalization, a long-term rehab stay, for instance, and that's usually for a shorter period of time. It is covered usually by Medicare 100% and many insurances, and it's delivered by a team of healthcare professionals such as registered nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and additionally home care aides as well.
Okay. Now, this sounds like a conversation that's going to be very hard to, raise with your folks, that they might need more help at home than we can provide. So you got any suggestions?
Well, it is a difficult conversation, and you first want to you want to approach it as a family. I think it's time we all get some help. So, perhaps you can offer to your loved one, let me make some calls and see what you qualify for. That's when we have at Benjamin Rose Institute on Aging, we have a benefit call center. So you can certainly call 216-791-8000, ask for our call center, and they'll walk you through the benefits that you're qualified for.
Okay, and there's not only help for the folks, there's help for the caregivers as well.
And that's very important in this day and age because they just get dragged down in caring for their loved ones. So when we go into the home, we not only assess the patient, we assess the caregiver. We have a senior companionship program for seniors and their caregivers, and we look at what resources and support we can offer them as well.
Excellent advice.
Thank you.
Sounds like Benjamin Rose got on top of it.
We're a one-stop shop.
If you discover this holiday season that your parents aren't safe to be home alone, be sure to explore your options. For help, call the Benjamin Rose Institute on Aging at the number that's coming up next. My thanks to Christine Foley for making herself right at home here with us today.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You too.
Learn more by calling the Benjamin Rose Institute on Aging at 216-791-8000 or visit www.benrose.org. Next, potential VA challenging changes.
Here at Metro Health, you know you matter when it matters most. Here, we are the city's best at preparing for the world's worst. Here, we are the only verified burn center in Ohio for adults and children. Here, you'll find exceptional clinicians with extraordinary hearts. So the work we do here at Metro Health makes an impact here, out here, and right here. Metro Health, we're here for you, for all of you.
We owe our lives and our freedoms to our servicemen and women. They are willing to give their all for the United States. We thank them for their service. Shouldn't our country be willing to help these veterans to the maximum extent? The Veterans Administration does little to explain the available benefits to veterans. Now, one of these programs faces a huge regulatory change that will cut the eligibility of benefits. Here to explain more is my law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
So, hey, Mike, so what is this benefit that they're changing?
Well, there's like a special pension benefit called aid in attendance. Now, it's not a pension like a retirement pension. What it is a benefit allowed to veterans and their spouses to help them if they have financial needs and health needs at the same time. So, for example, to qualify for this, the veteran has to have been 90 days in the service, 1 day during a time of war, can't be dishonorably discharged, and if they're 65 or older and they need help with daily activities like feeding themselves or toileting or moving themselves around, those sort of things, they can qualify for this program.
Okay, and I understand that there are income and asset limits. Let's talk about the assets. How much are they allowed to keep?
Right, well, that's a good point. You can keep your home, the land surrounding it, a car, cemetery plots, prepaid funerals, things like that. In addition, a married couple can keep around $80,000 of assets, and a single person $40,000.
Okay, well, what if your assets exceed those limitations?
Well, you can give them away. You can give them away to family members, or you can do a specialized irrevocable trust. You put the money in that trust, and then you can file for your VA benefit at that time.
Okay, just get rid of it. So what are the changes that the regulations are trying to make?
Well, this changes are significant, and this rules that we've had right now have been in existence for a very long time. They're going to make a 3-year look-back period. They're going to say, if you make this gift that I talked about, they're going to look back 3 years, and if you've made a gift, they're going to calculate an eligibility period. Much like Medicaid, with the 5-year look-back, they're going to make something similar for the VA benefits. But the way they calculate this ineligibility period is much harsher than Medicaid. And let me give you an example.
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's say you give away $50,000, and you're a veteran. And a married veteran can get a benefit of $2,120 a month. So you divide that number into 50,000, turns into 23 and a half months.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
That's the ineligibility period. Now, the surviving spouse is only entitled to a benefit of $1,149. So you divide that into that same 50, it's almost double. It's 43 and a half months. So it's not really fair. There's no concept to that, why it should double for the surviving spouse.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair at all. Yeah. So are there other changes that they're proposing?
Well, we don't have a lot of time to go into all of that, but there's some income limits, and one of them is that you're allowed a credit off your income of $32 an hour for someone to help you with your daily activities. And this is kind of a made-up number. They did a simple little study, and MetLife said it's $32. So that's all they give you. They've also made a big change they're proposing, is they're going to limit the amount of real estate you can keep. It used to be your home and any of the surrounding real estate. Now they're going to say it's your home and 2 acres. So if you own a house with a lot of acreage, or you're a farmer, this is going to impact your ability to qualify for the VA benefits. And then there are all sorts of other issues in these regulations that aren't entirely clear in a lot of new rules.
So what planning do we have to do in case these come into being?
Well, these rules may kick in January of 2016, or maybe a couple months later. We're not sure yet. So you got to plan, and if you can plan in advance, it's better, because once they're finalized, you may be covered by the new set of rules. So sit down with an attorney who is a VA accredited attorney. I think you are, right?
I am.
So someone who knows what they're doing in this area, not someone who's just going to kind of learn on the job. Okay. Sit down with them, do planning.
All right. These new rules are a major disservice to our proud servicemen and women to whom we owe our freedom. You need to plan now to obtain benefits. For more information, contact Mike at the number coming up next, or check out our website at www.ssnplaw.com for more detailed information.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in next week again for another great show. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV, or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.